Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Dragoon. We are in the royal capital Cadesa, former capital of the Winglies, and it has now been left to rot. It's been in ruins for a long time. We're here to retrieve the Dragon Block staff. So let's get to it. Like I said in the last part, this is pretty much the coolest area that we've been to yet in this game. Definitely the coolest dungeon-like area. So we can check things out here. I don't remember... Yeah, there's not really even anything to do that way, so we will skip it. Got a little bit of a maze here, very miniature. We can get to a treasure chest, I think, if we go not this way, but the other way. I also don't remember there being anything interesting in it. Can't carry any more items. Fine, I'll throw something out just to see what's in it. Actually, there's not anything I want to throw out. It's all kind of good, so if you really want to know, look it up. And as we get into battle, you'll notice something here. Yeah, new music. For pretty much the first time, there's been a couple different random battle themes that have been going on, but Cadesa's got its own and it's completely new, and it is awesome. I love this battle track. It makes me so excited. Let's do this. So we got some enemies here. Toadstool, these guys are relatively minor, pretty weak. Gnome have a little bit more health, but, you know, again, aren't too bad. Most of these guys are pretty easy if you can take them out, as long as they're not attacking in, like, the red or the yellow. That's when they tend to get their more powerful attacks, like all-hitting spells and stuff. So, as long as you either, you know, keep them in the blue or take them out before they can attack again, then you should be in good shape.
Yes.
And this is incredibly good battle music. It's very rhythmic, it's very, you know, the downbeats are super strong. Alright, so let's have Albert go up against this gnome here. He might be able to take it down. And looks like he did. You can see he's got a decent amount of defense as well. 450 is a pretty low number for Albert's final edition at this point. Maru's up. Remember, we did get her hammer smack or whatever it's called, so she'll be doing that here. It's worth mentioning, I don't think hammer spin can be countered at all. And there you also notice those mushroom guys are incredibly weak enemies. I like this part of the ending too. They do really weird things, like there's a super awkward pause in there that like shifts the time signature. It's so good. And you only hear it if you like idle in that little menu there. So, if you couldn't tell, this is one of my favorite areas. I love this place. I had to check that chest again, apparently. So, I'm very glad to be here. Very energized by the battles. And if I'm not mistaken, there's also an item in here that's going to help Maru out. If I can remember where to get it, I will definitely make sure to do so. I'm going to try to be exploring most of the paths around here. There's actually one point in this dungeon where it splits up into like a handful of, not a handful, I think just 2 different ways that take you to the same place. So let's see, we've got a teleport there. I think we need to take this. And it's pretty linear at this point. You see a lot of teleports around, but don't worry, there aren't a lot of puzzles or anything. And this will give us the dancer shoes. This is what we were looking for. Let's go into our menu. Also, once we get here, look at the bottom, we've got 40 Stardust even, so we can pick up our next reward next time we find Martel. So let's go into our armed menu here, switch over to Maru. This is also why I didn't buy her any shoes in any of the previous stores, because I figured we were going to be picking this up. So if we take a look, scroll down, there's the Holy Ankh, by the way. Revives from death with a given probability. So, you know, if you care about that kind of thing, you can do that, but we'll keep the therapy ring. Dancer's Shoes gives 20 points more agility, so you know how Maru was already the fastest character? Now she's even faster. So that'll help just in getting more turns. You know, that helps her damage output and everything because she can attack more often. And also she'll be in a better position to use like recovery items and stuff. So now we can take the other path, get into a fight first. Alright, and 2 other new enemies. Let's take a look. Mara's going first, that newfound speed helping out. there's a fairy. Remember, there were rumors in the first village about fairies in the forest, so, well, maybe there were. We also got Puck. He's like the goat dude with the flute. I don't know, he's got a name. It's not Puck, but I don't know, he's a mythological guy. I was about to say what I thought it was, but then I'd realized that's probably not it, and now it sounds stupid. So let's just attack. And there, like I said before, that's the one thing I don't like about that edition. It takes forever for the damage number to come up. Nope, no countering on that one. And that'll do it. Dart's still doing way more damage. We also did give him that attack badge from earlier. Let's go after the Puck here. Not playing hockey, though. Down he goes. There was that frightened, which would, I guess not have helped because it wouldn't have mattered, but like that little attack. That's a neat little animation going off. And also, the extra speed helps with her therapy ring. If she gets more turns, she gets healed more. So, really the extra speed just helps her all around. Even other things, that's too bad. A lot of these enemies do have pretty good physical evade rates, so you'll find yourself missing quite a bit. But, even for unseen, behind-the-scenes things, like if Meru can attack more, she'll get more SP, which means her Dragoon level will go up faster. So it's just all kinds of little benefits to getting extra speed, aside from the obvious, you get more turns, So let's overkill this fairy with 900 damage, and be on our way. Okay, back on the path. Let's head back around. And take more teleporters. Again, there's a lot of these things around, so it looks like you may be thinking, oh, great, teleporter maze. But it's really not that bad. For the most part, it's really all linear. You take one teleporter to the next, and then that drops you off. So it's not like it's that bad at all. See, only one choice here. Only one choice here. And then we're where we need to be, so don't worry about it. It's pretty easy to get around this place. Alright, let's see what's going on here. It's such a large space. Yeah, look at that. It looks like pretty much a good replica of the Coliseum, wouldn't you say? With the little teleport doors thrown in. Come on, Haschel, you're a fighter. You can put it together. Kongol, he gets a line. Smells like blood. No, that's Rose's line. Hey, Albert. First one to put it together. Ding, ding, ding. You get a prize. Heard it from the ancestor, huh? Once upon a time, it was a coliseum. It wasn't for regular fights that you won or lost. It was for matches to the death. Would just enjoy the view from above of fighters picked from among the dominated humans, dragons, and some gigantos. Aw, Meru, don't be too hard on yourself now. Yeah, mistakes of the past. It's not like you were there. It's not like you could have done anything. Dark period for sure, but what happened here happened in the past. No matter what sorrow there was, it's no longer our sorrow. Well said. Alright, Coliseum. Yeah, it looks like some kind of like a spectator box crashed down in the middle or something there. So these are enemies we've seen before, but I just can't cut this battle out because I love this music so much. Meru's taking a bit of a beating, but got right back up, therapy ring. So we can also guard with her, might not be a bad idea, though she can take this thing out in one hit, so we'll just have her do it. She really needs the extra addition levels and all that stuff anyway, so if the going gets tough, we can just dart with her next time around. She'll probably get another turn before the end of this anyway.
Blossom Storm!
No, maybe not.
Yes! Go! Crack dance!
Alright, so we're going to have to make a trek up the Coliseum wall here. And of course, they're not going to make it easy. You got to take it one level at a time. Going up the teleporter each time. There's nothing scripted that will stop you in the middle of this or anything. It's just one of those where like, hey, if you fought enough random battles, we need you to fight more random battles, okay? So, hey, what do you know? Our marker didn't even go up all that time, so we're still in the blue. Alright, so this is the point actually where the path is going to split up. We've also got a save point here, which it might not be a bad idea to take advantage of. In fact, I'm going to do that real quick. Alright, so like I said, we've got a choice actually which way we can go here. If we want to go up, there's a little path we can take, and there's also a teleporter that is down here. The one on the right, I'm not actually sure where it goes. I kind of don't want to test it in case it takes us somewhere else. So I'm going to take, oh actually no, the pink thing here is not a teleporter, that's actually a healing point. So very important to remember, if you ever need health, you can come back here at any time. Health, MP, any of that stuff, and it'll completely refill it. So the two paths are actually that green teleporter and the path to the north. It's also worth mentioning, if you're the type of player that likes to do this, this would also be a good spot if you needed to catch someone up, like Meru. You know, especially on addition levels and stuff, you could run around and do this here since you got free healing. So, you know, if that is your play style and you feel like spending the time doing that, you know, this would be a good place to knock yourself out. Alright, so we're going to take the teleporter path first. This is kind of the longer one that is a little more, you know, has scattered random enemies here and there. So what's going to happen here is we've got these 5 little pads that you can see are spawning these face enemies. If we run into any of these guys, we will have to fight a battle. So, you know, the trick is to try to make it through, but you're going to have to fight one no matter what. There's really not a way to get around that cleanly that I know of. You know, maybe if you sat around a bit and avoided the one that was jumping at you, you'd be able to, but, you know, just fight them. They're really not that bad. They can do some weird status things, especially if they get turns when they're in the red in terms of health. That's when they start pulling out some of their stuff. But for the most part, these guys are weak enough that you should be able to take them down without incurring too much trouble. Yeah, as you can see, my dart at this point can one-shot it, so it's not like it's a real big threat or anything. They're just kind of annoyance. Alright, so let's go ahead and take out this first pad. We just need to walk up to it and hit X. And as you can see, that will disable the pad and also cause one of the 5 rings around that doorway there to go away. And as the party members will remark, this must be... the seal for that. In case you really didn't get it, let's explain it to you. We can move on when we destroy them all. Right you are. Alright, so at this point, basically, I just run. You know, enemies like that sometimes you'll run into, but the ones that jump around you can avoid really easily. Alright, so there's one of its attacks. It used pleasure there. I don't think Dart got affected with anything. I'm not sure if that was trying to afflict him with anything. Alright, so let's quickly get to the next gen. Oh, that's too bad. So Dart actually leveled up on that one, brings him up to 24. So it looks like we got to this generator. It's worth mentioning that if an enemy is still out that was spawned by that generator, it will disappear. So, you know, it'll thin out the numbers as you go along. At this point, most of the enemies are just jumping around at us, so it's pretty easy to just avoid them. I think the one in the top right there is going to be actually patrolling, but, you know, one of them's pretty easy to avoid. Oh, no, he is bouncing around, so, you know, if you keep moving, you can avoid him. It's not too much trouble. Alright, one left. Of course, we step off like right in front of that one that's bouncing at us, and I went the wrong way. There we go. They're not smart enough to predict where you're going or anything. Man, it looks like that'll do it. And also, there are no random battles in that place. You may have figured it out, but... Alright, so we've got a couple things we can collect here. If we can hop on this little platform. We can get off if we want to go that way, but we can wait a bit and check here. Items. Again, I don't think there's anything too important, so now we just have to wait. Takes a little bit. That stone that goes up and down here has like 4 different stops, so it takes it a little bit to actually make its way down here. Alright, so let's hop over onto the next one. This will take us into the background a bit. And nothing really back there. Nice! So it looks like Meru is leveled up both in normal levels and Dragoon levels. So, yeah, she'll catch up. Looks like she got Rainbow Breath, her next Dragoon magic. If I'm not mistaken, that is actually a group heal. I think that will heal the whole party and kind of scales with your magic attack, which hers is pretty high. So she should be able to help us out quite a bit there. I don't think there's anything too important along this path, so we'll just ride the next one down. Oop, or just fall down on it. So here we've got a little trick. These things are going to fall when we jump on them, but if we basically just mash the X button, we can get across. And then check this treasure chest for a Mind Crush. And I believe this is actually a new sword for Dart. So let's take a look. Let's go through all of our accessories. Mind Crush confuses with a given probability. And of course, more attack, so really can't go wrong there. Alright, so now we can just write it down for real. And then make our way over here. If you need to get back up, that first stone that was moving up and down will eventually make a stop at the bottom level. Alright, and then once we get to this point, this is actually going to be the part where both paths meet up. So what I'm going to do is we're going to head back to where the junction was, and then we're going to take the other path, which will have some different stuff on it, so I'll meet you back there. Alright, so we're back at the junction, and it's time to take the northern path this time. Bit of a walk, and there we go. I choose to believe that they make those paths longer just so you have to fight more random battles if you haven't already. So we've got a little bit of a puzzle here. You can see there are 6 teleporters and symbols on the walls above them. So you're not really going to know what to do the first time you come through here. So I think if you get one wrong, he'll say something about it. Maybe not. Maybe if we get it wrong a couple times. Yeah, here we go. Looks like we're going to get some speech about it. I could just explain what the answer is, but yeah, we're not going forward. What's going on? There you go, Hashel. Punch it. Oh. It doesn't work. Miranda's got an idea. The drawings on the entrances might have something to do with it. There you go. First smart thing someone said since we've been here. Let's try a bunch of things. So I don't know if they'll say anything more if we keep getting it wrong. I'll try it a few times just to see if they might give you some more hints. Okay, maybe they will. So Congo thinks that's Gigantos. Looks like we've stumbled onto something. These must be the Winglies. Yeah, look, I can see that. Got some small people. I don't know what those are. Those are dragons, huh? Those are Minentos. It's a creature that we haven't seen yet. So there's lots of things drawn here. And these should be humans. And then what are these things? So except for that drawing, all of them were the species with intelligence born from the divine tree. Uh-huh. There should be some key within that. So it looks like they're still not gonna give it to me. Maybe a couple more tries and they'll give it to me. I'm curious. I've never like went all the way through this dialogue if there's more. Yep, here we go. What's going on? I don't get it. I tried a bunch of things. So if the drawings are some code, I wonder if there's some trick to the order we enter with. Maybe it's the order in which they were born to this world. First species to be created of these is probably the unintelligent species, right? So they'll give you a little hint. It may be the case that if you keep trying this, they will eventually just tell you one by one. But the code is, we take this one first. That'll light it up. Nothing to say there. So the code is we do that one first, then we do the Gigantos. It's kind of in order of intelligence, so to speak. So the Gigantos, you know, they're kind of dumb. I'm not trying to be mean to Congo. And then we have these Menintos guys. Then after that, we are going to have, remember the dragons were less intelligent than the humans. So it's going to be that. Obviously the humans were probably less intelligent than the Winglies. And then finally we have, of course, the Winglies. So it's kind of just in order of intelligence, sort of, if you can think of it that way. Of course, that is to assume then the Gigantos are dumber than dragons. So once you get the correct order, this little thing will come down, and we'll be turned upside down and teleported through it. It's an interesting thing. It's all glowy and all that stuff. Kind of reminds me of the Valley of Corrupted Gravity, actually. Oh, it's a Virage. Yeah, I guess not too surprising that we'd see one here. The scar, it must be the Virage that killed Belzac. Again, if you remember back from Rose's flashback. So that's how far in the past we are. These are Virages that Rose can actually place from the Dragon campaign. Of course, we have to sort of fill Miranda in. This does look different. It's one of their subspecies, and from its shape, it must have had a power far beyond the one we saw. A very pretty sight to see, yeah, you can say that much. Uh-oh. Looks like we've got a fight on our hands. Those look like air vents on the walls, so kind of out of place. Alright, whoa! Check that thing out. Yeah, that's way different. Monster from 10,000 years ago. Was it awoken by us? Yeah, Shauna wasn't even around for it to do weird stuff to. So we've got an S Virage this time. It's, of course, just like its other variants, got a head, body, and an arm. Now, there's kind of a trick to this fight, which you wouldn't know straight away, but I'm going to tell you because it makes this way easier. This fight ends after the enemy gets 10 turns, no matter what happens. You don't have to deal any damage to it, and it doesn't end any differently. You may get an item if you kill it all the way. I'm not entirely sure. But, you know, I wouldn't risk it. Just play it defensively. It makes the battle way easier. So we're basically just going to be sitting here guarding for the most part, healing when we need to. We may be switching over to Meru to do the healing, just so we can see that attack, but, you know, the new magic she learned, but we may not. So there's its lives remaining counter. Like I said, it dies after 10 of those. So it may be a little bit boring to watch. As you can see, its speed is fairly slow, but we're going to be sitting here guarding, and it'll eventually just keep attacking us, and that lives remaining counter will go down. So it's got some pretty hard-hitting stuff. That really wasn't too bad. But it does have some things that can cause quite a bit of damage, so it just makes it annoying, and it's got a lot of health. The head, you need to kill either the head or the body, and both of those have 10,000 HP. So if you think you can do 10,000 HP in less than 10 turns, then, you know, go for it. But I just think it's way easier to play a defensive battle here and just, you know, guard and recover whenever you need to. You can see Meru's taking quite a beating. It's very easy for her to die if you're playing this offensively. Alright, so it's down to 8. And we may speed this up a little bit because, again, there's nothing really exciting happening, and I'd kind of like to keep things moving, so, you know, some of our turns of guarding may be skipped. But you can pretty much be rest assured that's all we're doing. This thing's half dead. We've done 0 damage. It's half dead. I'm actually going to go ahead and have Meru transform here and use her recovery magic. I'm a little bit concerned that guarding might not carry her through if she gets targeted twice. So let's go ahead and transform, and we'll see that magic since, you know, it's new anyway. Oh yeah, we get to see her animation again, because last time we used special, we never transformed her by herself, so we still get the long animation. It's still real cool. That's a good animation. She's probably got the best one. Alright, so let's check this out. Rainbow Breath, HP recovery, and cure for all. Those are 2 different things. The cure is pretty useful as well. The cure will remove all status effects. So it'll recover HP and restore all status effects. You know, which can be pretty nice, but again, if you're all Dragoons, then you're all immune anyway. So, you know, use it whenever it's useful, I guess. So it didn't look that impressive, but it's all because we were only really missing that much HP. So, you know, it's not like there was a lot of room to heal anyway. Alright, so now that it's at 0 lives remaining, it's gonna throw out one final attack. I made sure to have everybody guard and also had Albert put a Rose Storm on people, just so it would minimize that as much as possible. Otherwise, well, Meru might be in a bit of trouble, but you can see we survived. We still get a healing rain after the battle. We get all the experience and gold, so there's really no reason to do anything other than playing defensively there. And we're not going to be able to hold that healing rain. Actually, I probably should have tossed something for that. I think a healing rain is full recovery for all. So that was a mistake. I will 100% admit that right now, but... So they weren't just reacting to Shauna. Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Maybe some hatred of Dragoons after all, huh? Yep, nothing else to do but go ahead. I'm actually going to head back real quick and recover, just because that'll help. We did use some MP in that fight, so we'll do that real quick. Alright, and we're back where we left off, so let's continue forward. And you may be able to guess what room we're about to go to. Yep, we're back here in this area again. So it turns out this path is actually blocked off if you try to come here from the other way without defeating the Virage first. I assume the seal gets removed whenever you defeat the Virage boss, so... this is the room where both paths meet up, and you can see there's the other exit down there at the bottom. It's worth mentioning, in that battle, Meru actually got 2 turns before any other character got 1. She attacked, and then the enemy went, and then she attacked again, so... Definitely that speed is helping out already, so... Room here in the middle looks pretty important, so you can imagine some stuff is going to happen. And since we're pretty far along here, that means I am going to save it for next time. Sorry to leave you hanging like this, but we'll get to it as soon as we can. So until then, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.